How we doing, guys? How we doing, everyone? How we doing, Alistair?
Yeah, doing fine, doing fine. Thank you for coming on to the show tonight. Now, you were the co-organizer with us last time round, which was in September last year outside Hollywood. Now we are doing it once again
Yes, the
in the
deadly
run.
duo is back again.
Absolutely, the gruesome twosome, the deadly duo. I think I prefer that one. Um, so yeah, it's going to be on the 28th of March, and it's going to be at the same place. And you know what? You put together a little video. So, just by way of introduction, we're going to fire this video up for 30 seconds. Fantastic.
It hits.
Thanks.
It just hits. It's there. I'm happy
Did
with
you
that
like
one.
that?
That's, I like that
Good.
one.
Good. How long did that take?
In total, probably about like a week, but over like not a week constant. It was like
Sure.
I know a few hours here trying to get everything just right. These things take time, but we get there in the end. Um, when you want
So, when,
perfection, you don't just chuck it out. You want it to be straight to the message, straight to the point. All the information that you need is there. It's only 30 seconds. Well, it's only like 27 or 28 seconds. So I didn't want to make it, a minute, 2 minutes. People tune out. You've literally got 30 seconds basically to make your point, to show your point, to explain what you're doing, time, place, location, etc. And it's all there, you know.
yeah, yeah, that's right. And in today's modern world, with so much social media, so much information out there, you do need to really get it into 30 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
If you're
Right.
interested to know further, then you can go into looking at longer form videos and articles and stuff like that. But no, for something like that, and you know what, we need to. I'll be over in Edinburgh probably before the end of this month. So what we need to do is do some of our short videos as well to get out on YouTube Shorts and things like that in the run up to it. But why do you think that it's important to rally? We'll be rallying about 5 weeks out from the event. What's your thoughts on the necessity of that?
So actually, I seen one of the person watching along's comment saying we've got 25 years to save the country. Unfortunately, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but we have less than five. This is it. This is the last chance. If you don't get it, if we don't get it right this time, Scotland's finished. The Scottish population as a nationality, I know unionist, etc., but as a Scottish country, we're finished as a population. If the SNP basically get back in, I hate to be the bearer of that bad news, but that's just the reality of it. If the SNP get their way, if they do get a majority seat, the first thing they're going to do, I've said it before, they're going to push for independence. Will they likely get the ability to have a vote on independence again? One does not know. But let's go on the assumption they do, and let's go on the hypothetical they win. The first thing they're then going to do is obviously join the EU again. And you know what that comes with. I said it last year. We will become Scotlandistan. That is the nicest way to put it. Like, we will be gone as a Scottish population. We can't have that. We can't have it. We need to remain Scotland, UK together. Now, this year is almost going to be kind of like America's last year presidential election. Who's the lesser of the two evils? Who? Now, I'm not going to tell you who to vote for. That's not my job to do that. you'll make that conscious decision yourself on May the 7th when the polls and the polling stations open. But what I will say is, if you don't vote, you're basically just handing a vote to the SNP. That's it in simple terms. So you have to get out and vote, right? If anybody with a sane thinking brain are not going to vote Labour, look what they're doing down in England. Look what they've done to the country so far. At every twist and turn, they've either lied, done a U-turn, deceit, everything, every negative word you could possibly say. And that's why we need to rally to make our voices heard. Your voice, my voice, speaker's voice. You know what? See, if you're coming along as just a person joining the rally, make your voice heard as well. Talk to people. Understand why you're there, what you're doing there, what you want to say. And we're going to have opposition of the SNP lot. And unfortunately, nature of the beast, we're probably going to have an opposition of some sort that's not going to be part of the SNP. It's just unfortunate circumstance. What I will say on that matter, leave them alone. Just leave them alone. Let them do what they're going to do. Let them say what they're going to say. Don't rise to them. You're not there to battle them. You're there to battle the government in the building behind you. That's why you're there.
Yeah, good point. As I mentioned earlier in the program before you came on, the SNP do have an official marching wing. It's called Believe in Scotland, and that's slightly different from All Under One Banner. All Under One Banner are the outliers, that they're the biggest movement, but the SNP MSPs as such try to keep distance from them because they're a little bit unpredictable. However, they do have an in-house campaign group called Believe in Scotland that the SNP is happy to associate with and happy to stand on its platforms when it speaks. So they're going to be rallying probably on the grass in the same area where the All Under One Banner did so last September. And they'll have SNP MSPs there, and they possibly will even have John Swinney there, actually. So that would be a good time to get our message, which is John Swinney out. In fact, one of our friends designed a wee John Swinney out banner here, which we'll just flag up. But John Swinney out, SNP out, they're going to be the ones that we'll be looking at. There we go, Swinney out, SNP out. I don't know if our colleagues putting that into a flag or what, but it's a good wee message that we'll get. Okay, so they're going to be there, and we'll have our PA system, which will be addressing our concerns, but they'll hear it as well. But between the two of us, there'll probably be the usual suspects trying to shout down unionism, but if you're thinking about coming along, don't let any of that bother you. It's all very well organized. The police are used to all of these social crowd situations, especially outside Holyrood. So they're very good. And we dealt with them last year. They were very good then as well. So it will be an exciting day. Let's hope we get some nice weather for it. March the 28th. And that's 1:30 for a 2 o'clock start. We'd imagine we'll be there for an hour and a half thereabouts, and see how that goes. And if you'd like to speak at it, if somebody would like to speak at it there, just tell us, and we'll have a look and we'll consider it. But we've got one or two speakers already. You'll be speaking, I'll be speaking, and one or two other voices will be talking as well. And hopefully we'll have maybe up to 8 people. Who knows how many that will have. Anything in particular that you would be wanting to talk about? I noticed there in your video you had like 100 SNP failures or something like that.
Yeah, I'm going to touch on a few of them, and I'm going to touch on a few of the major ones, as it were, and sort of focus in on not just that individual failure, but the failures in which have led to other failures based on that one factor, you know. So I'm going to be doing a little bit on that, maybe about a quarter of my speech, as it were, on the failures, but maybe half. You know what? Let's just go all in. Let's just destroy the SNP as much as we possibly can and actually open people's eyes. Now, I hope people see that video and actually pause it on those 100 failure bits and just have a little nosy down the list at what they've actually done and what they've failed on. And I think a few of them might actually shock a few people and go, oh, Jesus, I didn't realize they did that, and I didn't realize they did that. Well, yeah, this wonderful SNP that you think because they're giving free bus travel to 5 to 22-year-olds and free tuition, which isn't really free, and free prescriptions that isn't really free, and freezing rail fares that they haven't really froze because all they've done is just increase the prices of rail fares anyway. So they've not froze anything. All they've done is just increase the prices. Like, it doesn't take an Einstein level of IQ to understand what they've done, you know? You think it's 20 pence. Oh, it's an increase of 20 pence. What's 20 pence? Well, how many people take the train on a daily basis? Well, you know what? It's a number I'm going to need to find. But again, let's just say for argument's sake, it's 50,000 people a day at 20 pence a go. You know what I mean? It's stupid numbers. So, yeah, all this garbage that they're spouting, that they're going to start ramping up their campaigning and all of that, you're paying for that. You as the taxpayer are paying for them to wander the streets campaigning and trying to get your vote. Rather than actually doing something for the country, they're just squandering your money on travel and food and leaflets and garbage chat.
Well, they're squandering our money, but they're also squandering the actual poor Gubbins SNP voters they're squandering their money quite literally directly, because this was the thing. Peter Murrell alleged to have used party funds to buy cars, jewellery and a £125,000 motorhome. Now, this is an extraordinary story, as we all know, of course, that the SNP had this fundraiser to raise £600,000, and then somebody said, well, whatever happened to that £600,000? And then a big fraud investigation was announced. And do you know what? They wouldn't be taking this to court unless they had some pretty rock solid evidence about all of this. And quote, this is from the Telegraph of the 14th Feb. The allegations have emerged in a charge sheet outlining 8 embezzlement allegations Mr. Murrell faces at the High Court. He is accused of embezzling £459,000 of party funds between 12th of August 2010 and January the 13th, 2023. Now, this is an incredible amount, but it's all detailed. It's all detailed, and they're not going to take this to court unless they can prove all of that, unless they're pretty certain they can prove it. So, in other words, this is just absurd. And the sad thing is that Mr. Murrell had originally been due to appear in court next Friday for a preliminary hearing, but this will now take part on the 25th of May, after the Holyrood elections, 3 weeks after the Holyrood elections. Imagine if it had been before the Holyrood elections. That would have been pretty blooming good. But unfortunately, it's going to be after. But it's not going to do them any good afterwards as well. So it's all going to be coming out.
You know what, actually? That could possibly work in our benefit in one way, shape or another. But it's only predicated on the fact that if the SNP win. Now, if the SNP win, that will be very damaging to them if the truth actually gets told, if they don't cover it up. Now, I saw something, I was just trying to find it there. I saw something earlier on that John Swinney was given some sort of evidence by the court prior to that court date that just got postponed. So John Swinney supposedly knew and seen the evidence and had the evidence, but didn't do anything with it in that latest court session there, apart from getting it adjourned to the 25th of May after elections. They know, every one of them, from John Swinney to Humza Yousaf to Nicola Sturgeon to every Tom, Dick and Harry that's high up in the SNP government, they knew exactly what was going on. But as they do, they lied, they covered, they hid it. Now, this is just one incident that's come to light. What other little, things are going on behind the scenes that nobody knows about apart from internal party? You're telling me it's just the one? Just this one? Like, come on. Like, fool me once? No.
Yes, indeed. There's who knows what's going on inside the party like that. But certainly Sturgeon knows. I mean, I just saw a comment there. Let me see. Missed it. But somebody saying there's no way that Nicola Sturgeon didn't know that was
Of course
that was occurring. She must have known, but why she couldn't stop it, or why she felt she couldn't stop it, is it's all just
it's probably because she's sitting on half of the money herself. Like, she's effectively taking a back seat from politics now. Right? She's not even really on the back benches, if you want to call it that. She's in the reserve team, right? We'll call her that. She's a reservist. She might get called up, she might not. Now, she's got no other path to go now. She's pretty much been a career politician. She's got to her level. She got to where she got to. She failed. So what's she going to go and do now? She's going to go and sit behind a till in Asda and say, good morning, how's your day going? No. She had to sort her life out for her next, 25, 30 years of life. Right? Well, I don't know how long she's going to live, but let's just say 30 years of life. She's no form of income. She won't get a form of income. So she's obviously been taking money from somewhere. Oh, there's a wee £600,000 lying about. Let me just there's a wee £100,000 there. There's a wee £25,000 there. Happy days, Come on, man. It doesn't take a genius to figure out from top to bottom. It is corruption, lies, and deceit the whole way through. And that is why the 28th of March is crucial, to get the message out and make people understand the more and more you vote for that mob, the worse off you're going to be. Forget about Westminster now. Forget about what's going on down in England and the rest, like all of this Labour government carry on. Sort your home out first. Get your home in order. If you stay in Scotland, you need to want to look out for what's best for Scotland. And by doing that, you're not voting Labour. You're not voting SNP. Who do you vote for? Yeah. Who do you vote for? Like, this is massive. This is actually bigger than I think a lot of people are ready to comprehend. This is huge. This is the future of Scotland. Like, this is it. This is all we've got.
Yeah. You mentioned it earlier, and basically it is almost like a kind of last stand, because if we have another 5 years of a party, a leadership, an executive, a domination of Holyrood by politicians of any party who support the continued numbers of people who are coming into Scotland at the levels at which they're coming in, then Scotland will be transformed within a matter of, 10 years at the most. And it'll be transformed. And as I've been saying all week on Facebook, last year, a population the size of East Kilbride came in long term to Scotland to settle. The year before that, a population the size of Paisley bigger than Paisley, considerably bigger than Paisley. Last year it was about 76,000 people came in. The year before that it was 90,000. And that 76,000 is provisional. We'll know what the exact number is in August this year, and it'll probably be another 15 or 20,000 more than what they told us, what they provisionally thought. But these are huge numbers, and if you're living in small rural areas, you might not be seeing it right now, but certainly if you're living in Glasgow, you are seeing it very, very clearly anytime you get onto a bus. So that can be stopped. That can be stopped, but what it needs is political voices in positions of power to stop it. And we do have a chance this time round of electing people who will shake up the system in a way, even if that's just pissing off the SNP and the Labour people who have been the system hitherto. So unless we get those voices heard, then nothing is going to be able to change, because people ourselves, what can we do really other than vote or support through monetary means those who are saying the right things? It's the politicians who have got the power to change the laws. And if we don't have politicians changing the laws, then what happens is the nation just degenerates and deteriorates and collapses. So we need to get the politicians in there. So that's the first step. And we do have a big chance on the 7th of May when we have our election, Thursday the 7th of May. So folks, if you're not registered to vote, make sure you're registered to vote, because this is an opportunity for you. And don't let anybody say that it doesn't count. It does count. Voting does count. Every voice counts in a small way, because joined up snowflakes make avalanches.
No, that's just it. It's definitely, and it's a balance, chaos and order, right? They have the ability to create order, but instead of that, they're choosing the latter and causing chaos upon chaos upon chaos. Now, they do this very strategically, right? What I spoke about last year, problem, reaction, solution. They're creating the chaos. They know what they're doing. Then they go, oh, we have the solution. Look what we've done. Now vote for us. We done this for Scotland. We fixed this for Scotland. So now you can vote for us. And people are so narrow-minded and tunnel-visioned, and they hone in and focus on that one thing, and it's, oh my, like, they saved us because of the problem they created that they had the solution for already.
Yeah.
Come on. Like, I feel genuinely, right, and this is why I've been sort of lurking in the shadows a little bit. Dealing with people sometimes on a daily basis made me lose browsing cookies. It made me feel dumber. I'm not going to lie. I felt my IQ dropping sometimes when I was trying to talk to people about specific things. So I thought, you know what? Just enjoy your night, mate. Right? That was it. That was the point I got to. Right?
Yeah, well,
I Kevin Bridged people. That's what I did.
Yes. I think you have to take that attitude sometimes. Now, reached the end, the top of the hour. Now, you do have a Rumble channel, and we'll put your address up there. And that Rumble was a bit like YouTube, but it's more free speech. And you'll also find things on Rumble spoken about and ideas and so on that you won't see anywhere else. And it's an American thing, but well, so is YouTube, I suppose. What I mean by that is most of the people on it are Americans. Now, do we have your address here to fire up? We do indeed. And let me do that. It's here.
Any follows would be much appreciated, and on X as well would be much appreciated, guys.
Yes,
because
it's rumble.com/user/we say it podcast. And I know you're going to have me on it before the event on the 28th. And you're also on X.
It's only 2 platforms I'm allowed on. Can't go on anything else. Not allowed.
Yes. We don't have your X thing. Oh, there it is. x.com/. We Say It podcast. Good. Okay, Nick. Any final closing comments?
No, just obviously I look forward to catching up with you next month and the end of this month when we meet up in person, and obviously on the big day of the 28th of March. Remember, guys, 1:30, Scottish Parliament for a 2:00 start.
Excellent.
Be there.
Excellent. Okay then, Nick, we'll speak to you again. Have a good night.